Hi, in this video we're going to talk briefly about animations in CSS. So I've got this one pretty much all done. There won't be much typing in this tutorial, but we've got HTML, that's sort of div with an ID of gizmo, and at the very bottom give it a width, a height, and an initial background color, even though we'll be animating the background color. This is just sort of setup stuff. The next thing I want to point out here is this new syntax. So the way this works in CSS is an animation itself has its own CSS sort of code associated with it. And then there's code that you can use to apply it in different ways that goes within the objects, the CSS that applies directly to an object. So first we'll go over the syntax here, then we'll go over the stuff that applies to the object. So the simplest way to do an animation is to declare at keyframes, so this arroba keyframes, space, and then a name. You can give it any name. Generally, alphanumeric is better. Actually, I think it might have to be. It has to be essentially alphanumeric. And then open and close braces. Then you do from open and close braces, and then to open and close braces. And in the from, you put its initial values. So this color here, 006622, which is like a green color. And then you put in the to, it's the values it goes to. Actually, I think I meant to make this blue, which makes it a little bit more obvious how animation's happening. There we go. And so this defines an animation that changes the background color from green to blue. To apply this to the item in question, what we'll have to do is, and these three lines are the code that we are most concerned with. We give it an we specify the name of the animation we want this item to have. So animation, that's the name I give it up here at the top. The duration, 1 second, we could easily put that as 10 seconds if we wanted and make a really long animation here. So it slowly turns blue. And then if we want it to continue over and over and over again, we say animation iteration count and put infinite. Otherwise, you could put like 2 and it will stop. Yeah, and then it no longer goes and is no longer animated. And remember here, the unit is second with an S. So just an S here. I'm going to put infinite back here. There's another way that we can do an animation that allows us to use several values and sort of time them however we want. This second syntax here is basically the same, but instead of saying first or from to, we go 0. We could do the percentages. So 0% through the animation have this value, 50% have this value, at 100% have this value, right? So we could come over here and put second, and my second animation in for animation name, and it's a more complex animation. We could also do this, spend a lot more time on the second half of this, from yellow to red, than on the first half going from red to yellow. We can do interesting things like that. We can also mess with the width. Here, so it also sort of and we can animate a lot of things, generally things that are numeric or have to do with colors, which are stored in the computer here as numbers, as essentially sets of 3 numbers, red, green, and blue. Things like that. Height. Are generally animatable. This almost looks like a beating heart. You see, these sorts of animations are very easy to do. And if you have something that fits within these parameters, if it's something that can be done with CSS, generally it's better done with CSS than with JavaScript. So it's just a short little intro on how to do CSS animations. Hopefully it's helpful.